Hello all you bladers, and for today's Speculation Saturday, we're going to be talking about why balance types are not actually balance types. So first of all, what is a balance type? Well, a balance type is very unique and different from the other three types being attack, defense, and stamina because a balance type is improved upon the flaws of those three bays, and it has all the abilities but on a lesser level. For example, an attack type has an advantage against the stamina type because a stamina type does not have the necessary defenses to defend against the attack type. A defense type has a disadvantage against the stamina type because it doesn't have enough stamina and generates a lot more friction against the stadium than a stamina type does. And an attack type has an advantage against a defense type because it does not have enough stamina to keep attacking against the defense type. So a balance type does not have any of those weaknesses because it is improved upon all three of those flaws. But despite having all those three abilities, it has it on a lesser level. Let's look at this as if it's percentages. An attack type has 100% attack, defense has 100% defense, stamina type has 100% stamina type, or 100% stamina. A balance type, by definition then, would have 33% of attack, 33% of defense, and 33% of stamina. Now that is all evenly balanced, but there's one thing you're forgetting. That 1%, because 33 three times is 99%. Where's that other 1%? Okay, sure, you could split that 1% into 0.33. You have 99.99%. Where's that 0.1%? Well, that 0.1% of the bay's stats is in one of the other stats, which means that there will never be a perfectly balanced balance type. There will always be a stat that is higher, a stat that is like mid, and then a stat that's lower. Or it can be that two stats are the same and one stat's higher. For example, a bay could have 34 attack and 33 defense and 33 stamina. That would add up to 100, which would classify it as a defense type, not a balance type. Now, a balance type is still a balance type because its stats are very close together. In the thumbnail here, I have chose the Achilles. Let's use that as an example. The Dimension Driver is basically an aggressive driver, decent stamina, good defense. You know, it changes heights and everything, so it can change the stability and attack / aggressiveness of the bay. There's the double O disc, which the sides line up well with the swords, some outward weight distribution for good stamina, very heavy for defense, and the weight again lines up with the sword, so increased attack power. Shows the Achilles layer, overall roundish, pretty squarish for defense. Those swords are used for attack, so it's basically attack is its highest stat. For Chosi Achilles, attack is the highest out of the three: attack, stamina, and defense. Attack is the one where it has the most, which means that it's an attack type, but no, it's not an attack type because it's still a balance type because its stamina, defense, and attack type stats, or I guess how much attack, how much stamina, and how much defense it has, those are very close together. So it is balance type because of that. A balance type is also something that can change modes because you'll notice that defense types, stamina types, and attack types don't change modes. Balance types can change modes because they are very versatile, because they have different attributes of attack, stamina, and defense. Now there is attack types that can change modes, like Twin Nemesis with its upper mode alignment, and Brave Valkyrie with its 3-wing / 6-wing mode, but that doesn't really change the overall performance of the bay. It just makes it have upper attack or smash attack, and then it makes it have rubber exposed or more weight. It's still an attack type, but for example, if you're using a bay like Spriggan Requiem, you could be a defense type for the defense type tip. You could be a stamina type with the stamina type tip, or you could be an attack type with the attack type mode, or you could be an overall balance type with a bay like Legend Spriggan, or not really. Legend Spriggan's more aggressive, but Legend Spriggan overall is balance type because its stats are very close together. So what do you know so far? What you know is that a balance type is improved upon the flaws of the other three types, it has good defense, good attack, good stamina. The Blader, using the balance type, will have to choose his strategy wisely, because if he uses the wrong strategy, then he'll lose, because a balance type doesn't have more than any other bay. Against an attack type, defense type, or stamina type, it's basically tied. It doesn't have any advantages or disadvantages. So if you choose the wrong strategy, you're basically setting yourself up to lose. Because a balance type does not have any advantages or disadvantages, it makes it harder to win, but it also makes it easier not to lose. So the Blader has advantages or disadvantages, if you want to think about it that way, but basically, there is no perfect balance type, meaning the balance type will never be evenly balanced in all its stats. Let's look at another bay, like, say, World Spriggan. Probably the most popular balance type currently, because Shu Karanai and then World Spriggan is obviously Spriggan, and his current bay. So World Spriggan, the Unite Dash driver, is obviously a dash driver, increases burst resistance. It's basically a stamina type driver with a sharp tip. Reduces friction against the stadium, pretty good stamina. There is a large, thick ring of yellow/golden rubber around it, which when tilted or makes contact with the stadium, it can grip the stadium for extra defense, or accelerate and speed up for some extra attacks. But when Unite Dash slows down, it takes the center and is a stamina type still. So Unite Dash, it's basically a stamina type driver, but it has good attack and good defense. Then there's the 2B chassis. Good burst resistance, once again, because it's a double chassis. Overall, pretty round, pretty thick, pretty bumpy, disperses damage and everything. Free spinning gimmick, so that makes it a defensive chassis. Still good stamina, decent attack. So right now, World Spriggan is balanced between stamina and defense. Not very good attack. It has decent attack. And then the World Spriggan layer, obviously decently heavy. The World Ring and Spriggan chip are a little bit heavier than the average sparking weight, but they're not as heavy as some other things. Like, for example, Brave Valkyrie. The ring is 12, World Ring is 10 grams, the Rage Ring is 14 grams, Tempest Ring is 13 grams. The Spriggan chip is heavier than most chips, but the ring is a little bit lighter, so it averages out. Obviously, it's mainly circular, somewhat squarish in its counterclockwise mode, but it's mainly defensive, and it obviously has two little edges where the counterblades are that can perform really big smash attacks. So it's basically a defense type, if you want to classify it as the stat that it has the highest of, because World Spriggan's highest stat, or what it has the most of, is defense, but it's still a balance type because its stats are very close together. So just to give one more example, Master Diabolos, because the TT name. I'll say Master, I want to say Master Diabolos just because Diabolos sounds cooler than Diabolos. So anyway, Master Diabolos, obviously dual spin balance type, very similar to Spryzen in color scheme. Dual spin, just like Spryzen. His character, or the bay's owner, is basically a copy of Shu, or a wannabe Shu, because, you know, Delta's a wannabe Shu, basically, and Drum's a wannabe Volt, basically. So there's the dual spin ability, where its right spin is attack orientated, which has still good stamina, and then its left spin is defense orientated with a downward shape, still good stamina, and then its driver is generate extremely fast around the stadium, very aggressive, and then as it slows down in spin speed, it turns into a stamina type driver. So Master Diabolos, by definition, would technically be an attack type, but it is still a balance type due to its dual spin ability, meaning it can change a mode, and because it does change its type in between battle from attack to stamina, and also just because its stats are very close together. So basically, what the whole video is about is basically that there is no balance type that is a complete balance type. There will always be that one stat that's higher. So there technically is not even a balance type, because it's just an attack type, defense type, or stamina type. There's no, like, balanced of the three versions, but it's a balance type if the stats are closer together, and if the bay can change more modes than two. And even if it can change just two modes, technically still a balance type. Like Legend Spriggan is dual spin, which is only 2 modes. Master Diabolos is 2 modes only, but it's still a balance type. So yeah, that shouldn't be yeah, that shouldn't be too confusing for anyone, basically. Yeah, that's pretty much what this video was about. Kind of just wanted to talk about balance types for this Speculation Saturday. Also, for Speculation Saturday, besides like talking about the anime and about like Beyblade types or like Louis Shirosagi full history or stuff like that, I also want to like review like some Beyblade websites that might help with like customizations, maybe rank some Beyblades, you know, like rank Beyblades like from top 10 coolest Beyblades to top 10 like least coolest Beyblades or something. Maybe like ranking all the Turbo Bays in terms of like how good they look, like how aesthetically pleasing they are, meaning like Geist Fafnir is like really like a really pretty bay, so it would be at the top, and then I don't know, what would be a really ugly bay? I guess the Achilles would be a really ugly bay, so that would be at the bottom. So yeah, some more rankings are definitely going to be in Speculation Saturdays, and yeah. So I'm definitely planning on ranking all the sparking bays by aesthetics, meaning how cool they look. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for this video. Subscribe if you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Leave any requests you have in the comment section below. I will most likely do your request unless I've already done it, or it doesn't seem super exciting. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for this video. Subscribe if you enjoyed. Have fun, peace out, and don't forget to keep on blading.